Black High Priestess. Yeah, I was live on Facebook earlier after I did my Facebook upload about the money I received. So I did do a blessings upload earlier, and that just kind of talked about the blessings of the ancestors, and life of the path, when you live by the ancestors and you put your faith in the Most High. So I did say that I was going to do another upload because I did some witch's brew earlier, so now I'm just doing dinner. And I did want to let you all know, I'm just making pasta, but I do break the pasta and then put it in. Especially, if you don't have a big, huge pot. If I had a bigger pot, I probably wouldn't, because I like to twist my pasta up, like in a big spoon, the traditional way. But so I'm gonna be making that. But I had a really interesting conversation with the goddess, with Easily. Just now, I was doing libations there, and I wanted to do libations with you all, because the $10 that I received, it wasn't completely free, but even though, again, I'm bleeding, I'm not able to offer the leg, but he still wanted me, to get some things for Monday, just in case I stop bleeding by Monday, but it might be closer to Tuesday, I think. But I will do a little libations with you all with my tea here that I made earlier. So, salud. Powers. Okay. Add a little more tea. So it's still strong. So this is, I'll post the link too of this that I made, and that's just going into this libations. All right. So how is everyone so far? Just let me know. So as the water's boiling, I did have to I did get more garlic salt. I don't have any pink salt right now, but I just got some garlic salt, and I'm just gonna salt the water with garlic salt. I do salt my water with garlic salt and black pepper, so I'm gonna do that. I don't know what the best angle for y'all is. Okay, salt the water as it's boiling. And this is angel hair, so it's actually just about done, to be honest. And then I'll get started on the sauce. There's a little bit, can take a couple more minutes, but I can probably, at this point, I'm gonna take the heat off, and I'm just gonna let it cool down, and it'll work itself out that way. So, just real quick, the scripture. The scripture is was Job 1 verse 13. I actually read verse 13 through 22, but that's what I landed on. I did a bibliomancy before I logged on. And then I did libations with the barons for the Sabbath. And yeah, like I said, I had a very powerful conversation with Ezuli. I can't really share it because it was some personal messages for me, but I will be talking about some of those things when the time is right. But it was just like really unexpected. So I'm just maybe a little thrown off by some of the things. But not necessarily in a bad way. It's just some things I gotta absorb and download. So Job 13, it starts with, It's just basically 13. I don't want to read the whole thing right now, but Job 13 through 22, which is the end of the chapter into chapter 2, it's just actually starting with, it looks like the beginning of when he started losing his blessings, and people are coming to him, telling them how his home's caught on fire, his place is caught on fire, that his relatives were eating and drinking, and I guess they were, doing the most, and I guess God was upset with it, and so fire came down from heaven upon them, and then so at the end of this, the people who escaped, the wrath of God, went to Job and said, hey, this is what's been going on, and they thought they was the only ones that escaped, but turned out about 4 or 5 of them escaped, but everyone thought that they was the only one that escaped. But there was about 4 or 5 of them. And shoot. So after that, Job proceeded to get up and rip his sleeveless coat apart and cut off the hair of his head and fall to the earth and bow down and say, naked I came out of my mother's belly, and naked shall I return there. Jehovah himself has given, and Jehovah himself has taken away. Let the name of Jehovah continue to be blessed. In all this, Job did not sin or ascribe anything improper to God. And I just wanted to talk about the fact that came up. Down, down. Everybody down, down, down. Come on. Come on. I wanted to just talk about that. Ooh, it's getting hot in here. That was the scripture, so I'm going to drain this pasta real quick. I might have to crack the window because I'm getting warm. Okay. Put pasta's in the strainer. All right. And gonna throw some olive oil on it so it doesn't stick. I'll give it a quick rinse. Give it a quick rinse. And then again, this is angel hair, so it's real sensitive. I'm used to the rotini, which is a lot thicker, takes a lot longer to boil, but I'm still gonna go a little heavy on the olive oil. Because typically I would put butter in my pasta sauce. Right now I'm not doing that. I've been doing a lot of cheese, and I'm still going to do my Parmesan Romano over this too. So I got to watch my dairy. But butter helps me gain weight. And certain oils, olive oil not so much, but certain other oils that I cook with. I think vegetable oil, even actually the cheaper stuff, it helps me gain weight. But nonetheless, kind of get some of any chunks that are still sticking together to separate. And I always like my pasta sauce really hot, so any uncooked pasta will cook after I put the sauce over it and let it sit for a couple minutes. So I'm gonna put this in my pot here now that everything's all settled, and I'm going to it's not hot, so I'm gonna What, do you want to talk about the scriptures, baby? I'm live, honey. You're live to the world right now. You're live, baby. Come on. So I just wanted to, say, let's remember Job. I'm actually going to crack this window real quick. Heat is on and everything. So, I was just thinking that we should remember Job and everything he went through. That was just chapter 1. But even then, I received blessings today. And, I talked about being the squeaky wheel and getting the oil. But it is important to stay faithful, and to not, get to a point where you're cursing your ancestors or your deities when things don't go your way. And I've been guilty of this too, but that's the importance of learning the art of forgiveness, because in fact no one is perfect, and except Mary Poppins and yeah, my God. And so, you know, if you're not Mary Poppins or Yemaya, no one's perfect. And it's important to forgive, because you never know what someone is going through, or what the circumstance is, and you never know when you might need forgiveness. And so, you know, it is important to understand certain qualities of the God and Goddess, and to try and strive and be like that, you know, when dealing with others. So I'm going to continue to talk a little bit about that, but I'm going to go ahead and open up. I just got some canned stuff here, because again, I'm on a budget. So this is just for people on a budget like me right now, but it's got my trusty family heirloom can opener. And sometimes I like to keep all the juice in the tomatoes because of the preservatives in it. It does keep your pasta sauce more fresh if you can't like use fresh ingredients. But I'm just going to I do have some leftovers. Jersey, down baby. Come on. I had some leftover spinach, olives, and tomatoes that I'm going to put in there. And then I'm just going to put about half of this can over it and maybe save some for another batch. And then I like olives. These are just some of the things that I like. Put a little water in there. So I'm going to go ahead and start cooking the pasta sauce. Make sure you recycle, y'all. Always recycle. And then I got some olives here. I think I might have to do some chopping, because these are sliced olives, and I usually like the minced ones. I do like some olive juice in there for the flavor. And then, like I said, I'm going to chop some of these up. And throw them in. And then I have some chopped spinach that was frozen, and it is thawed. So I'm also going to put spinach in. So this is going to be like a Florentine type sauce, I guess. Heads up. When y'all add spinach to your sauce, that makes it Florentine for the most part. But I'm liking that I can chop these olives because it'll make them chunkier. So I'm trying to get them on a Sabbath schedule as well, and they're kind of on punishment too, so they're not going to eat until I eat today. You guys can say what you want about that, but if you want to punish your kids, punish them in ways that will keep them healthy. Make them work out. You know, say, okay, no dinner tonight if you want to act up. You know what I'm saying? Punish them in ways that will make them healthy and keep them in shape, instead of, you know, punishing them by letting them eat whatever they want and then have a problem with obesity in their adulthood. That's one of the worst ways to punish your children, is to not discipline them. And then they have all these problems in adulthood that, you know, are hard to solve, and then they slip into this into the 7 deadly sins and don't know how to, you know, control those 7 deadly sins. You know, gluttony is a huge problem in America, y'all. It's a huge problem, and it is sinful. gluttony is sinful. You hear that, baby? So, Jersey, stop then, baby. Go away. Alright, so I'm going to throw these olives in the mix. And what I'm going to do here is I'll just bring the pot here and I can actually just, I can just scrape it all into the pot as I chopped it right there. And it works out really well. So I'm going to throw the top on it now. Oh, let me get some spinach up in there. Okay, how's everyone doing? So, yeah, I was just thinking about Job a lot, and, you know, just thinking that, you know, sometimes I have to not lose faith. I just squeeze the water out like this, and, you know, I'm doing it over the sink here, but I just literally just, squeeze, like I take the spinach and just like, I mean, get ready to use your hands, yo. But, I just squeeze the excess water out of the spinach like it's like a little matzo ball or something. But I can make spinach meatballs. I'm not that, but you know, so, and I'm just gonna put this in here. But also, like, so now that but now that I've like squeezed the water out, I still like kind of crumble it up too. That's the beauty of this chopped spinach already, because I just like a certain texture. I don't like my sauce runny. I really like my sauce thick and texturized, but to not have a nice like tomato sauce base to it. But I like chunkiness, especially, and I like extra tomatoes in it. So I actually put all the ingredients in. I let them simmer and amalgamate and just kind of fuse the flavors in, and then I add the actual sauce. And I always get mushroom sauce. I love mushroom sauce. And if I don't have mushroom sauce, I would be chopping up some probably porcini mushrooms, and portobello are like my favorite. But I like shiitake, but they don't have much flavor. I really like I would say, yeah, the porcini, the small little dark ones, not just like the regular white ones. I think those are the cremini ones. Yeah, I like the cremini ones, the darker ones, and portobello mushrooms. But mushrooms, whatever. So that has some spinach in it. I might even squeeze a little bit more. Just a little bit more. And then you can leave a little moisture in if you want that good spinach flavor. If you want to let the moisture release in the sauce too. Like I said, I don't like my sauce too runny, and the best way to prevent that is I add vinegar, which I don't have, but I will use red wine vinegar or white wine vinegar depending on what type of sauce I'm making. This one I would do red wine vinegar, but some sauces I go lighter with. I use different ingredients with, but just like plain, you know, just plain vinegar, you know, cooking vinegar you can do, but I usually like red wine vinegar in my pasta sauce. And that the vinegar will help get rid of excess water. It will kill the excess water, it will dissolve it, and it'll still give it a nice flavor. Like I said, I'm a vinegar person. Vinegar keeps us ladies, it keeps our pH balance in check. I love vinegar. I love vinegar stuff. I love pickles. I'm one of those. So y'all got to get out of the sink. You don't want to bath in the sink. So rinse my hands here. And then I just throw all the excess just in one little container, and I just dump it in the next batch. So I'm just gonna dump some of this juice out of the olives here. I just dump some of the juice, and then, like I said, just throw all of this in the container. couple olives. There's one here. Waste not, want not. Get everything out. And then recycle these cans, any plastic. Where's my top to this? And throw this in the fridge. So I'm just going to let that simmer, all that together. And it's pretty. It's got some specks of black from the olives. My lighting sucks, but this is what we're working with. And at this time, I am going to season that. I really like to heavily season what's simmering, the veggies. And then the pasta sauce, like I said, it'll just fuse in with everything. And once I do the pasta sauce, that's when I like to add the vinegar and a couple other things. But at this time, I'm going to add some cayenne pepper. And I'm going to go a little heavy on the cayenne pepper right now. So I'm just going to add that. Gonna be spicy, and I do use lemon with my sauce, so I pour lemon juice over. Once I make my dish, I put cheese over it, and then I put lemon juice over it. So I like to kind of go heavy with the cayenne, and I am gonna add some sriracha as well. Okay, so I put some cayenne pepper on top. I'm going to do some sriracha. I do like it. This is going to be spicy also. I guess this is a warning for anyone who ever cooked. Hey, come on, baby. You know what? You got to stop. You really do have to stop this. You're interrupting me, baby, all right? It's not your turn to eat right now. So, stop. Put some garlic salt. The rest of this one here I have. And this is going to be recycled as well. I'm going to save the Italian seasoning for once everything's done and cooked. Some things I like to add last so they can have their own flavor and so they don't get burned. This is, you know, really, these herbs will be really easy to burn. And especially since I'll be reheating the sauce as I, you know, finish the whole thing of pasta, because I only cook enough pasta for each dish. It's just me, so you know, I cook enough that I need. So considering that I will be reheating it, I will add the herbs last, and then every time I reheat it, I'll kind of sprinkle a little bit more salt to freshen it up, and some more herbs to freshen it up. Creole seasoning. That's going to go in right now. And add a little more. What did I do with that garlic, salt, and black pepper? Just a little bit more. Not too much of this. This is just to give it a little bit of a garlic kick. I already added some. But I don't want it to be too salty. I don't like to do too much salt. That's why I actually don't have salt right now. I just have the garlic salt, the seasonings. And this is like some Jamaican stuff. It's just for good measure. Just a little flavor. A little black pepper. Let's do it. And some of the things I'll add in last will be this buffalo classico, and I probably will add a little bit more sriracha depending how it tastes, and this last. So let's stir up a bit while it's simmering. Yeah, so the thing about Job is, and you know, like I was saying, Job still went through a lot too after, after Satan was basically challenging Jehovah, and they just kind of basically made a bet, really. So, I think it's important to remember, no matter how hard it gets, like, remember Job had he had boils all over his body. He had like a lot of bad stuff, but he lost everything, and then he got it back tenfold because he never lost faith, and Jehovah knew he wouldn't. He was his most faithful person. That's why he had everything that he had to begin with. But it goes to show that, I think the important message right now too is to never lose your faith in your higher power, especially if it's helped you. If it takes something away from you, don't get mad. Don't feel entitled, because a lot of times when something's taken away from you, the blessing of wisdom that you earn from the lesson learned, and being able to go in life with the confidence of knowing that you will never be fooled in that way again, or that you will never make that mistake again. There's a confidence that comes with wisdom that people who have earned that will know what I'm talking about. There's a confidence that comes with surviving a hardship that no one can take away from you, and it's a strength that you need, and that's required. And once you have it, once you have that strength of having survived and having learned something, but still being whole, still being you, still not having let it change you, but only for the better. In that way, there's a confidence that comes with earning wisdom. So don't curse your divinities when you go through hardships. Still remain thankful. You don't have to be happy all the time about it. You don't have to fake happiness, but you should still remain grateful for whatever you do have, because there's still something that you do have, even if it's just the breath that you're breathing, to get a second chance at life or whatever. Still be grateful for it, no matter how much you may be depressed and be suicidal, no matter how much you don't want to go to work, no matter how much you don't enjoy the food that you eat, or no matter how much your kids are getting on your nerves, whatever. Still be thankful that you have it, because there might be a day where you may miss it. It may be irritating you now. Your situation may be frustrating now, but it's still a situation. It's still a situation that some other people might kill for. Might wish that it's a problem that other people might wish they had. So, Job remained grateful and faithful and everything through all of the Satan's persecution. So also, I would say in that aspect, remember that people do need to be put to the test sometimes. Don't always take people at face value, but see if they are who they say they are. Find out if a person is still your friend if you don't have the things you have, if you don't have a car to ride them around, or if you don't have a place for them to crash at all the time, and all of these luxuries in your place that they can enjoy and be entertained by. If you lose your ability to work that job that makes you all this money that you have, if you somehow stop becoming so popular, will if you start changing in certain ways and decide to speak up for something alternative than what you might have used to conform to, if you start to change your character and set new goals for yourself and want different things for yourself, are these people who you're around still going to be there for you? Are they still going to support you? What is the real intention and motive of the people in your life? What is the purpose that they serve in your life? And, think about those things. Peace, Conscious Conspiracy. Hey, Nella Bella. Peace, Aziz. Yes, so I'm just doing a cooking demo here, and I was talking about the scripture, which was Job. I'll put in the description. It ended up being Job 13 through 21. So I'm just talking about some of the things Job went through. And, you know, it's important to see what a person might be like when they don't have anything. It's easy to be a certain way when when you got a husband or when you got a wife and you got a good job and things are going good and you're secure with things and you feel good and you're feeling confident. But what type of person are you when you don't have those things? When you're down on your luck, when you don't have money, when things aren't going that way. Think about what type of person you are. And think about the people in your life. Are they genuine to you? Are they only around because of what you have and can do for them? But also determine, too, a person's true character. You see people, and people follow celebrities a lot, and you do see sometimes celebrities change, but I don't like to attack celebrities so much because they're in a brave position to let their whole life be for the world to see. That's something that a lot of people couldn't do. So I have an opinion that, celebrities put themselves out there to be talked about, but at the same time, they're in a position that most people couldn't be in. Most people can only be in a position of talking shit about someone's life. And a celebrity puts themselves to be that entertainment and to be that gossip that most people, all they want to do is gossip, but they would never dare to be a celebrity. So think about those things. Because you may be in a situation where you've had nothing and you may be given a lot. Will you let that change you? Have you let it change you? You could be in a situation where you've come up a bit. Something that's common, and I talk about the black woman's experience in America a lot, and it's very common that in Hollywood, it's very depicted that, men who supposedly are from these poor circumstances, they come up and then they end up dating the women in Hollywood, which for the most part are not African or ethnic women. So that's just a common example of, are you going to change? Are you going to still have appreciation for the caliber of woman that supported you while you were in supposedly these impoverished conditions before you became a hip hop artist or a famous entertainer or an athlete, or before you earned your position, in a higher class in an elite place, before you became renowned? Do you still appreciate the support from the type of women, regardless of your orientation, regardless of, and that's just a mild example, but do you have appreciation for where you come from, for who you are, for what got you to that place? Or are you going to get to a place and change? Are you going to change yourself in order to get to a place? Because remember, say what? Satan offered the Christ, the Messiah. What do you offer him? The same thing you get offered when people be signing their name in blood and everything for them contracts. So what he offered to Christ himself? What? Satan got some nerve, y'all. He offered the Christ himself. I'll give you riches and fame and this, that, and the third. What you got to do? You got to bow down to me instead of the true Most High. What Jesus tell him? Kiss my ass. He said kick rocks. Okay? So that goes hand in hand with, will you change yourself in order to have things? That speaks also to who you are. Or are you okay with what you've naturally been given? And are you willing to take the straight and narrow path to divinity? Or to whatever it is you're trying to achieve, regardless of where you come from? Can you appreciate what you was naturally given, and can you value that enough to say, this, what God has naturally gave me, will work well enough, and I can create what I'm supposed to create out of myself and life with what I've been given already? That speaks volumes too, because you would be surprised how many of your friends, I'm not talking to celebrities, anyone who's listening or watches this, yes, but I'm talking to the regulars, talking to people just living life. Y'all would be surprised how many of your friends and family members and people you know, or people who you knew growing up, done sold their soul for a little bit of chump change. But I bet some of you know and have seen changes and can tell. But I bet you a lot of you have already encountered people who done already sold their soul. But that's how cheap Satan is paying right now and stuff. People, that's how quick people knocking off because of the lack of value for divinity. And so you all will know. I'm going to add the sauce at this time. And I put the top on to keep the moisture in, but a lot of the excess moisture is boiled out of it. So, oops. Let me put this in recycle. I'm gonna add the sauce real quick. So y'all know how to open these. I know these guns look a certain way, but it works when it has to. So you guys know about doing that to make the top pop off, right? You ladies know about that, right? What I just did there, you hit the bottom of the bottle, whatever it is, if it's like a sauce or something, and then the top, you see, just. I gotta show y'all some old-fashioned stuff because I don't know what people be doing these days, but the world is going too quick, and y'all don't know some of this stuff that some people's grandmothers didn't know, because people be grandmothers so young these days. So my mom was old-fashioned. I got my ears pierced when I was a baby. I'm talking about, I got baby pictures. I'm less than 6 months old. I'm talking about when my ears is pierced. Because she did it the old-fashioned way. Heated up a needle, stuck it through, put some straw through, put ice, to cool it off. Woo-wop the bam, African. So I'm going to let this cook. I'm going to add some more sauce, though. Because, like I said, I don't like it, like, chunky, but I don't like it runny. And then I'm going to add a little water in here. Because, again, like I said, waste not, want not. So you got to get the excess. And then that'll add a little, make it a little drippy. And then I save these bottles for things. One of the things I use these bottles now is when I make my ilekis, I can separate the styles by jar. And then, I put herbs and spices in those. I also use them as like Tupperware as well, if I need to save extra sauce and things like that. So I'm going to let this simmer. I'm going to put the top on again so the water can evaporate and it can get really moist. So again, in terms of what I would, ooh, bad connection. How's everyone? Can y'all? Yeah, I was tipsy then, Aziz. my 3 a.m. Yeah, I was tipsy in that, and I was upset with that the cats ate my food. I had to cook. I was not prepared to cook that time, Aziz. That upload. I don't even know why I left that one up there, but I was not prepared to cook that time. This time I was actually prepared to cook and do an upload. So, as I was saying, people are selling their soul, like it's weed. So just be mindful of that and pay attention you know, I think I might do an upload about the contract and ways that you all can detect if someone is soulless, you know what I'm saying? And if you know what I'm saying? Now, of course, you know, in this instance, I'm talking about people who do it for fame and fortune. That's one of the main reasons you would do it, to be honest. To overcome a condition, a circumstance. And the number one reason people do it is for poverty, to overcome poverty, or to overcome social rejection. I'm gonna turn the heat down a bit. You gotta I don't keep stirring it too, just to get it all together. I might even add a little more sauce to this. I do have some. I think I'm actually gonna add a little more sauce just to make it a little more saucy. Just to make it a little more. You guys get another demo of this. But see, this is how it works. And then it just comes right off. No, you know, all of that. Yeah, I like it saucy. See, there's a lot of other ingredients. Alright. I got cinnamon rolls for dessert. This is like new addiction, y'all. These cinnamon rolls. I can't stop. I used to eat them when I was younger, but no, like I can't stop now. I really can't stop either. I'll eat one and then so you know, just kind of test things out, you know. Yeah, but just kind of, you know, just kind of test things out, you all. Think about the type of people in your life, and think about the type of people you want to have in your life, because the world is getting to a place where you're gonna need to rely on people. The world is going in a certain way, and if you don't have money and everything to isolate yourself and be wealthy and all of that, you're really, it's getting to a point where we're really gonna have to start relying on each other for sustainability and figuring that out. So I'm just gonna add this buffalo classico salsa here. Sometimes I only add a few drops. I think this one, since it's kind of a lot of sauce, more than usual, I think I'll add 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This sauce, this actual one right here, is actually Yansa's. This one is one I actually offered to Yansa, to Oya. And so this is hers, so I tend to use it sparingly and only when I'm in a certain you know, rite, with that, when I'm doing a certain rite, or if you know, if she calls me to cook this certain dish with this, I know that she's protecting me, or you know, helping me protect myself. So I'm just gonna, that's one of the last things I'll add. Yeah, well, the tomatoes will give it sweetness. The olives and spinach keep it salty, and then all of the seasonings I added. Peace, Aslam. And yeah, it's sweet, salty, and spicy. So it's got all of that. So you know, that's pretty much, it's just gonna simmer for a little bit. Yeah. So I guess I'll chit chat with y'all a little bit more. It's already 45 minutes, but you know, basically I'll wait and I'll show y'all the final product. I'll go ahead and do a full demo just for you guys, and then I'll eat it. But it does have to simmer a little bit. So I'm gonna put the top on that. And I was just talking a little bit about Job and everything for, oh, I'm not going to add this yet. This is going to be the absolute last thing I add, seriously. But I can open it up since it's brand new. Okay. Well, I guess I could let it cook a little bit. So I like to pinch off seasonings like this. I just like to pinch it off a little bit and just kind of, like I said, you know, cook with your hands. That's the, you know, that's the only way to do it. And I'm gonna do a third. So I really need that oregano. And I scoop it up like that from the bottom up to mix it in really well. Scoop from the bottom up. You know, just kind of show you. All right. And then I always put my pasta in my bowl. It's Saturday, so I'm using black today. Black bowl for Saturday. Black or white, or both. And see, when you go heavy on the olive oil, or when at least put enough on, you yeah, you it doesn't stick together. It stays nice and separated. And this angel hair, I like angel hair, but I usually like it with a pasta dish. I usually would be making fish with this. I haven't been eating meat lately at all. Only meat I've been eating is chili, really. And sometimes you can season. I don't have pesto, but typically I would get a pesto, or just, you know, make a pesto, and instead of using the olive oil, I would use pesto, which has a lot of olive oil in it. So I would use the pesto to oil the noodles. If you do that, make sure you refrigerate the noodles, because they will spoil a lot quicker that way because of the cheese and the pesto. All right. So you guys are gonna have to catch this one while you can. I don't know if I'm gonna leave this one up. Giving away too many secrets, but that's fine, because Full of secrets. Mysteries, I should say. But, you know, it looks pretty so far, doesn't it? Alright, cheers, you guys. So, cheers. Alrighty. And again, it is the Sabbath. It's Saturday. So I did have to go out twice today. But, you know, in both instances, like I said, if you see my blessings upload that I did earlier, you know, I made a joke in the aisle, but, you know, this brother ended up actually giving me $10, you know what I'm saying? So I actually made some money today, in a couple different ways. And then Legba made me go out and you know, get some items for him, because he gave me, you know, he had a hand in that as well. So I had to get some items in preparation for the Monday rituals that I do for Legba. So we'll see. But like I said, I have a feeling it's going to be done on Tuesday this week when I'm done with my cycle. So I love when it simmers at the top like that, and then that makes it like, that gives it that extra moisture, honestly. So it is just about, there's like one little mushroom that's the only, every pasta sauce I get from them, they only have like one little mushroom. It's really cheap sauce, but again, like, you can make a really good meal really cheap. So I hope you guys have been paying attention, because I'm showing y'all, you know, this is the cheap meal, and then this, I can eat off of this for about 3 or 4 days with the having enough pasta. Because again, I have the angel hair pasta. I actually have some leftover pasta from my last batch. I have another full box of rotini. I like the tri-colored pasta as well. They didn't have tri-colored angel hair, which they never do, but I have some tri-colored rotini. So I really like spinach pasta and tomato pasta and like different flavors of pasta. And I'm big on egg noodles. I love like a Swedish meatball dish. It's really good. All right, y'all. So I think I'm gonna actually cut it short at this time, but I will probably be cooking for you all again. Maybe I'll just go ahead and finish this off. This is what I'll do. I'll do just a quick demo. Hush, baby. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. Yeah, I know you like that because you guys are cats. And don't cats eat birds? I know they be trying to get to the birds that are on the ledge, you know, that I've shown y'all some of my cardinals and stuff before, but I feed the birds and they be trying to get to them in the window, but no, they're cool. So go ahead and get this done. And again, I'm just gonna do a small demo for you all because I'm not quite ready to eat. You know how it is when you cook. I'm gonna like mine saucy. You know when you cook and you get the aromas and you smell the aromas can fill you up, and you can lose your appetite. That's why the chef tends to be like the last person to eat, because you literally are having like aromatherapy, and that can fill you up. But I just want to show you how I do, y'all. Hold on. Sorry about that. Add my cheese on top, my grated cheese. And then, you know, it's always great to just get a brick of some you know, special artisan cheese and just grate it over. Especially even with Parmesan and Romano, it's really good when it's freshly grated. You can't go wrong with that. But we're doing on a budget today. And so, again, I didn't lie, you guys. Like, I do go crazy with lemon. Especially because I go heavy on the picante with my sauces. So I actually just add like lemon juice on it. Again, that's probably nasty to some people, but this is what I do. All right, and then as always, like, pray over your food. All right, see how I did. Please pray over your food, y'all. Perfect. This is really good. So I'm gonna have another one and feed these babies. I love being able to twist the noodles up. Magnifique. Oui. And then the lemon juice settles down at the bottom, and it mixes really well with that cayenne. And then when you twist it up, though, you get a nice chunk, a nice texture with the tomatoes. The cheese adds salt to it. That's why I don't go heavy on the salt, because I salt the water, which really retains a lot of salt. The noodles retain a lot of salt from that salt water. And yeah, and so the cheese adds salt. It adds that buttery texture I was telling you, that kind of pulls together all of the moisture and makes it stick to the noodle. And the spinach, the olives, and the chopped tomatoes add a nice texture to it, because I don't like mine too runny. So again, you know, I would have had maybe some fresh garlic, fresh spinach, fresh tomatoes, fresh everything. If I knew how to roll like, you know, if I was able to like get my own noodles and roll them, I would do all of that too. But this is just, you know, for people on a budget. Every ingredient that I had today, you can get for $1 or less if you know how to shop. So spinach, olives, tomatoes. If you got everything that I included, you know, cheese, sauce, noodles, seasoning, I would say 1 or 2 of those, just in case, you know, just in case you're really going cold turkey. You know, and then you might want to cut back on some things like the lemon juice, or you know, like the sriracha or something. But this literally can be a $5 meal. You know, if you cut back on things, do some things, however, you know, olive oil too, you can get that at the dollar store. So I hope this helps some people who need to learn how to cook for themselves, how to eat on a budget, who need to learn how to eat in a way that's somewhat healthy. Pasta isn't the healthiest thing. It makes you gain weight. But if you know how to eat right, if you know, you can substitute these noodles for a noodle with a lot less cholesterol, or things like that, or a noodle that doesn't turn into sugar and stick. You know what I'm saying? There's kale noodles, for example. So you need to, people, you need to figure out how to eat within your budget. For those of you who are on a budget, there's no reason to be overweight. You should be skinnier if you're on a budget. So I hope this helps some people who need to know how to cook for themselves and for their children, and who need to be able to have that skill. I have no microwave. Okay, so you see I have no microwave, and you see I used one pot. I used the same pot. I boiled the noodles, then I did the sauce, So again, just remember the way the world is going. Remember to have faith. Remember to stay true to yourself, and don't sacrifice your soul or sacrifice anything for, money and things like that. Like, you're being taken care of. And the love of money is the root of all evil. Not being financially stable, not having money, not saving up, not wanting things that money can buy. But the love of money and the desire to do things for just to have money, not to have necessities, but just to have money. Be very careful of that, because people are really getting in a greedy way, and people, are probably going to start doing things to be able to have money. So remember about the mark of the beast, and not being able to buy, sell, or trade without that mark in your hand or head. Just think about that, and how strong your faith is, and that sometimes your test by God is to lose it all, and but you may gain the kingdom of heaven. You may gain your riches tenfold on earth. You never know. Just try and have faith as much as you can. And faith without works is dead. So get to work as well. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Peace and love, and enjoy the rest of your Sabbath.